Welcome to Influence, the show about one of the university's founding colleges, the College of Agriculture and Life Sciences. I'm your host, Emily Shaw. On today's episode, we're going to learn more about our agricultural communications concentration in the Agricultural Education, Leadership, and Communications major. Our first guest is Assistant Professor Dr. Carly Morrison. Thank you, Dr. Morrison, for being here.
Hi, Emily. Thanks for having me.
So I'm excited for you to tell us more about our new-ish concentration in agricultural communications in the major.
Yes. So, like you were saying, Agricultural Education, Leadership, and Communications is our major.
Right.
But within that major, students can either choose to concentrate in education, leadership, or communications, and that's where I come in.
Excellent.
I advise our agricultural communications students, as well as our ag science students.
Excellent.
Yes.
So when a student chooses the agricultural communications concentration, what is their focus, or what is their area of interest? What makes that concentration special?
Sure. So students who want to major in, who want to concentrate in agricultural communications, they really want to advocate for agriculture and really tell agriculture's story through print or digital, sometimes radio, any type of communications effort. So we have students who really love to write.
Okay.
And they focus in journalistic writing and press releases and news stories. And then we have some students who are really creative and they want to focus more on the creative side of communications through brand development, logo design, print layout. So really taking those stories and designing them into a beautiful layout. And so our students are really creative, and they just really want to advocate for agriculture and work with breed associations or agricultural organizations to just really get the word out and advocate for what we do.
Excellent. I would assume social media is another platform. How are we using it in social media?
Yes, so social media is so big right now, and really anyone can be a journalist, or they can anyone can say anything on a public platform.
Sure.
And so our students really learn how to use social media effectively and in a positive way to, again, tell our story and kind of debunk some of those myths and you know, really, again, communicate about what we're doing in a positive light.
Very important.
Yes.
So what about some of the coursework, specifically the capstone or campaign course, things like that, that they really want to get in there and learn about?
Yes, so our students really touch on every aspect of communications, from writing to design, and then at the end of their time here at Mississippi State, they participate in a capstone course, a communications campaigns course, where they work with a client, and so it is a service learning course currently.
Oh, excellent.
And they work with a real client, meet with them, and kind of figure out what their needs are as far as branding and marketing, and then complete a complete campaign from start to finish, how the client will use the creative pieces, how it will help them meet their goals. And what's really neat is when they graduate, they have a portfolio and some real life experience that they can take to their potential employer and say, look what I've done.
Excellent.
I learned these things at Mississippi State, I applied them in a real life situation, and this is what I can do for you.
So valuable.
Yes.
And in addition to that course, they also do an internship. Where are some examples of internships either our current students or past students have completed that experiential learning component?
Yes, so we've had students intern with the Extension Service, both here at Mississippi State and in the surrounding states, because we have students from out of state who come and enroll in our program. I've also had students at Sanderson Farms. They went down to Laurel and lived in Laurel and worked for Sanderson Farms. I've had students who have worked on campus in TV production, getting some hands-on experience in that capacity. What's really neat about communications is students can really focus on things that they're passionate about, and their internships can reflect that as well.
That is excellent. So we mentioned at the top of the show that it's still considered a new concentration. So we've only had a couple of graduates, but we're very proud of those graduates. Where have they maybe gone on to work?
So we have a student who is pursuing a master's degree.
Okay.
So graduate school is always a great option, especially in ag communications to get a little more experience and really specialize in something that they're passionate about, like I said earlier. I also have students who have gone back to their home states and work for a breed association or agricultural organizations, again, advocating and communicating about what they're currently doing.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So it's growing, the concentration, and we have some up and coming students that we're excited about. So to just kind of close this out, what are you most excited about the concentration?
So we are growing. We have doubled our enrollment from last semester, and because of that, now we have the capacity to have an Agricultural Communicators of Tomorrow chapter, which is really our, the premier AgCom student group. And so we'll be getting that rolling and our students involved in that, and then we can have kind of a broader presence and attend conferences where that organization meets and compete in contests that revolve around that organization. So we're really excited.
Yes, excellent. Yes. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
And when we come back, we'll hear from a student in the concentration.
Think you know ag? Think again.
We are creative.
We protect the environment.
We prepare for careers in medicine and conduct research.
We empower people and communities.
We are technology driven.
And we feed and clothe the world. We are the College of Agriculture and Life Sciences at Mississippi State University.
Imagine a car designed to travel 100 miles on a single gallon of gas. Engineered to lead the way in energy independence. It will inspire you to rethink how cars actually work. Imagine the car of the future. We are at Mississippi State University, where we ring true.
Welcome back to Influence. On today's episode, we're learning more about the Agricultural Communications concentration in the Agricultural Education Leadership and Communications major. Our next guest is our senior student, Jessica Junkin. Welcome, Jessica.
Thank you for having me.
We're excited to hear more about your experience in the concentration, but tell us a little bit about yourself first.
Well, I am from Gordo, Alabama, so Pickens County, not far from here. I live on a farm. We raise poultry commercially, and then we have Black Angus beef cattle. So that keeps us pretty busy.
I bet it does.
Yes. I'm a transfer student from Bethel State Community College, and I started here last year.
Okay. So how did you choose agricultural communications?
Well, since I do have an ag background, I have a strong love for agriculture and all things agriculture, and I also love writing. So I knew that I wanted to major in something that embodied all of that. So whenever I was looking at different majors here and found the AELC major with the AgCom concentration, I immediately knew that that was what I wanted to do.
That's excellent. So in your coursework, what has been one or two of your favorite courses and why? Kind of walk us through that.
I really enjoyed teaching methods. It kind of got me out of my comfort zone big time, because you do have the lab. Yes, where you have to teach your class basically. And I loved it just because it allowed me to use my creativity and create lessons for people to learn. And then I also enjoyed professional presentations. That's another one that really got me out of my comfort zone and just taught me a lot about how to communicate better with others and be professional.
Excellent. A lot of people are very literal about teaching methods, and some of our students think, well, I don't want to be a teacher.
Right.
But you've just emphasized how important it is to be able to share a message. And
Yes,
so,
for sure. And I think that's important with anything that you do.
absolutely. So you just completed your internship this summer. Tell us
Yes.
about that.
Okay, well, I completed my internship with the Alabama Cooperative Extension
Okay.
System, and it's also located in Pickens County.
Okay.
So it wasn't far from home,
That's nice.
which was great. Miss Patty Presley Fuller is our agent
Okay.
of the county, and she is great. So she took me under her wing and
Wonderful.
taught me all about extension. So it was a 10-week process.
Okay.
So I was able to write articles for our local paper, the
Okay.
Pickens County Herald, which was a lot of fun. So I was able to go out and interview people.
Wonderful.
One of the main ones that I did was a 4-H volunteer spotlight. So I interviewed different people that volunteer with 4-H. So that was really great to get their perspective. And then I was also able to create flyers for different events going on in the county, especially for the farmers market and 4-H. So I was able to use my creativity with that as well.
That's excellent.
And then just basic office work, just how extension works and what all they do. And it's so much more than I ever thought, but it was very informative and I learned so much.
Excellent. So you mentioned creating flyers.
Yes.
Did you have a specific course that helped you learn how to do things like that? A combination of courses?
Just a combination. Professional writing really helped me with that. And then I also had to make one for presentations as well. So I was able to kind of combine that and sort of just go with it.
How prepared did you feel for that internship based on your coursework and your experience in the
I
program?
felt pretty prepared. Going into it, I wasn't exactly sure what all I would be able to do. I had goals and expectations that I'd shared with Miss Patty, and so she met all of them.
Excellent.
So it was just really great. I was not, feeling like I didn't get what I wanted to out of it. I felt very, very excited about being able to do it.
Excellent. What was the most interesting thing that you did as part of that internship?
A lot of it was just hands-on, and so being able to help with any of it, all of it was interesting, I feel like. There was nothing that I didn't enjoy specifically. So I just really enjoyed being with the 4-H kids too. That was a lot of fun.
Excellent.
We did a canning class, so we learned how to can jam and stuff like that. So to see them really have fun with that was great.
Sure. And so you're in your senior year. What will be next for you when you finish at Mississippi State?
That's a good question. A lot of people ask me what I'm going to do after I graduate, but hopefully something in the communication, field, maybe with extension. I'm not really sure. We do have a farm, so I may help with the farm. I'm not really sure, but anything to do with ag and communications, I feel like I'll be extremely happy for my career.
Excellent. And do you have much experience advocating over social media as part of that?
I've never really advocated for it, but I would be really excited to be able to do something like that because
Excellent.
it's very, very important.
It is very important.
Yes.
Well, thank you, Jessica, for joining us today and
Thank you for
sharing your
having me.
experiences in the agricultural communications concentration. And thank you for joining us on this episode of Influence, where we learned more about agricultural communications in the agriculture education, leadership, and communications major. See you next time.